All right, YouTube. I need to start this out with an apology because I had made mention in the comments that I was going to talk about several topics all at once in the video, but the more I got to think about it, the more I realized that I needed to divide up the subject. And what I want to start out with is the concept of freedom, liberty, and property, and what all those things have to do with each other. I mentioned in a video that property ownership was necessary for your freedom. And some of the comments, people agreed, but definitely some further clarification was needed. I didn't by any means mean any offense towards somebody who's say, renting their property or is still working towards a homestead or has a bank note or anything like that. But just hear me out. And this is something that those of you that rent will know what I'm talking about here. As it pertains to freedom and liberty, freedom, honestly, just the definition of it means that you have to answer to no one. So, if you are the final owner of property, then whomever is on that property has to answer to you. If the property is yours, who's to come and say, no, you owe me tribute, okay? And so if you own yourself, and if you finally own your homestead, then nobody can come to you and say, hey, this is the tribute that is due, or we will remove you from your land. It just doesn't make sense. And I think to be moral and correct, we need to examine what it is and call it as we see it and call it for what it is. Because the idea of freedom and liberty is not freedom for as many people as possible, which may be 6 out of 4 or 7 out of 3. My understanding of patriotism and this country and freedom and liberty is that no single person is left behind. No single person is left to have reduced esteem. Each person can pursue their own destiny. That, in my opinion, is the essence of freedom and liberty, and I think that's what makes a great country. And I think that's where in my country, the United States, I think that's where in history we've been able to take such great leaps, is because just all the stars lined up and everybody was able to live as free as possible for a time. And you see the economy flourish, you see prosperity and people be content and just a really good time for society. And you get these congresses every once in a while, and it's almost though a flash in the pan compared to the congresses that we had like around 1913, where like all in one particular Congress you have establishments of a Federal Reserve banking system and things like that, and most favored status to certain businesses that can pay a certain amount of bribery to the government. It's insane, and it's wrong, and it's bizarre when some people are allowed to do it and others aren't, just because of their station or their appointment, okay? Donning a costume or passing a certain number of tests or whatever doesn't make you any more of a person than another person. All right. George Washington, in his Farewell to Public Life, enunciates it best and touts the advantages of public servants going back to private life and having to live within all of the guidelines and all of the regulations that they establish. I think if people have to follow the rules that they pass, you'll be looking at a very different process, So, that being said, Senator or Congresswoman Boxer, Senator Boxer, she is no better than any of us. Nobody's any better than any of us. We all put our pants on the same way every morning. And if you're like me, you teleport your body into your pants. Anyway, hope that serves to clarify, and we'll see y'all later. Y'all be good.